When we're trying to identify cations, we can find that some are quite easy just by looking at their colour. Then we just have to do confirmation tests. For example, copper 2+ is a blue solution, and so if we use concentrated ammonia, it makes a royal blue complex ion, which can confirm that we've got copper ions in the solution. Another one that's very common that's coloured is our iron 3 ion, which is this one here, which you can see is sort of an orangey colour. Can use iron thiocyanate to confirm that. And the last one that's quite commonly used, and we just use colour to predict it, is iron 2+, which we can see is sort of a pale greeny colour. Goes a nice forest green precipitate with sodium hydroxide. So some cations are really easy to pick from their colour, but some of them are really hard. And up on the board you'll see that there are about 8 cations, and these actually don't have any colour. So if they're in a coloured solution, the colour is due to the anion. In this experiment, we're going to grab one random solution, and we're going to use a flowchart found in Beginning Chemistry by Wignall and Wales, page 47. We're going to use the flowchart in that to try to determine which ion it is, and we're going to write equations for that. So that's what this video is going to be about. So what I've done is I've grabbed one random chemical, I'm going to call chemical 1, and I've put it in here. We can see that it's a colourless solution. In my flowchart, the first thing that it tells me to do is to add sodium hydroxide. So I've got some of that, and a decent concentration, so I don't need much of it. So I'm just going to add 2 or 3 drops to this. And it goes this sort of muddy brown colour, this muddy brown precipitate. Well, if I look at my flowchart, that means I've already actually basically identified it, because only one of these chemicals here makes a muddy brown precipitate. The others make different colours. So what I did was I added 2 to 3 drops of NaOH. So that was my step that I did. My observation was a muddy brown precipitate. Now if I look at my chart, that means that I've got silver ions. So, because something's changed, a precipitate has been formed, I have to do an equation for this. So I go Ag+, and I added hydroxide ions. I know it was sodium hydroxide, but the sodium is a spectator ion. All sodium salts are soluble in the concentrations we work with. And what does it become? Well, this is probably the only thing that's hard in this one, is that it doesn't become silver hydroxide, because there's no such thing. It actually becomes silver oxide. Now that means I've got some hydrogens left over here, so what I actually do is have 2 of those, and it's H2O. So the first one that I've looked at, the first of my colourless ones that I've looked at there, ended up being silver, Ag+. So I had 2 to 3 drops of sodium hydroxide, it makes a bright, muddy brown precipitate. I know that it's silver straight away. That's the result for silver. I confirm it with a balanced equation, and then I am done.